Welcome back to the greatest channel of all time, everybody. Cozy's Ghost Adventures. We are back here with Swamp Barbie today to tell another epic story about her near-death experience in the hospital. Without further ado, let's fire this up. Here we go.
What's up? It's Louisiana Swamp Barbie, aka Christy. So here's my story. It's 2003, October 1st, 2003, and I am induced. I was about almost 10 months pregnant. It's my first baby, and I was pushing for like 6 hours. And the doctor finally arrives. I was just with nurse practitioners for the entire time. And then the doctor arrives, walks in, he checks the baby and me out and goes, "What are y'all doing? Emergency C-section now. The baby's head hasn't even dropped past her pelvic bones." Next thing I know, I'm whipped into like the surgery room. They got me all set up, and I felt the first slice. My epidural had completely almost worn off. So I scream and I say, "I can feel that." And my doctor said, "You can feel that?" And next thing I heard was 30 cc's of ketamine now. And I watched the anesthesiologist walk up and OD, basically put me in the K-hole, and I like OD'd. So I went into what they call the K-hole and had a near-death experience at this point. The father of our baby was right next to me, and he said, his perspective, he watched my eyes roll into the back of my head, and I was completely silent. And then a few minutes later, I started screaming, "I don't want to die." I screamed, "I want my mom." Now, my perspective, when my eyes rolled in the back of my head, I left the surgery room and I went into a room with no windows and no doors. There was enough light in the room to see that it was just an empty room. And I was just standing there. And then all of a sudden, I felt like this rush of wind come up to me and grab me. And when I tell you this motherfucker was fast, whatever it was so fast. It grabbed me and it dragged me across the floor, up the wall, across the ceiling, down the wall, across the floor. And it was like a pattern. There was like this particular pattern. It was dragging me as fast as possible. And as soon as we went around the walls in a certain formation, we went into another room. And this kept on going on. Like, I went through like 12 rooms. I mean, it wouldn't stop. I was so sick. And I screamed, "I want my mom, stop." And when I screamed stop, it let me go. And the room disappeared. And I couldn't see anything anymore. It was completely black. I could feel grass underneath my feet, though. And I felt that wind rush up to me again. And this time it stopped right in front of my face. I can't see anything. I can only feel it. And then I felt fingertips gently touch my shoulders and push me back. And I started free-falling into a pit of black. That's when I started screaming, "I don't want to die." I knew in that moment I was falling to the pits of hell or something, I don't know. And when I screamed, "I don't want to die," that's when a white light came and I just stopped falling and I was just hovering, and it slowly brought me back up. And so anyways, fast forward like 7-8 years, late one night, I'm watching some new stuff on TV, like, ancient alien stuff, like stuff that we didn't grow up with, really, like you had to get the National Geographic, to know about what was going on in Egypt and other places, But it's an episode about Japanese scripture and how they talk about the afterlife and what happens when you die. And when they started describing what happens, it almost matched exactly what I went through. And I just found that very, very, very scary, actually. A little unnerving, but it was something about, like, you go through so many rooms and then into the mouth of the beast. So that was my indie story. I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you, Swamp Barbie. That was fantastic. one of the coolest stories I ever heard. And we're also thankful that you're still here with us today to share that, what a near-death experience is all about. If anyone else has any near-death experiences, comment down below. Let us know. We would love to hear your story. But there she is, the one and only Louisiana Swamp Barbie. Until the next one.